Ryan.
And I'm Logan, and this is Tops.
Sup, I'm ready to win.
This is Bottoms.
Sup, I'm ready to fight.
This is Troubles. Sup, Avocados. And I'm ready to shared ride. You like that rhyme? And we're Crush Cards. Hi, team. Happy Wednesday, my silent wobbies. We're talking about the side deck today. It's been a while since we did any type of discussion video, and now that the meta is finally in a stable place, we're not getting any product for the next month until October, we figured now would be the perfect time to actually just talk about side deck tech, since, you know what we're doing, we know what the meta is, and we're going to try and help you guys figure out what cards you would like to put into your side deck that might help you win more games for the next month until the format changes and Colossus comes to one.
So obviously these are the only cards that we think are actually going to be super impactful. The meta is, as Logan said, very, very established, with Drytron and Dragon Link being at the top of like the combo. We also have Virtual World kind of being more of like a control variant. We also have Prank Kids and Tri-Brigade as well. So in no order, these are the top 5 decks that we think are seeing the most play. Also, just like really, really powerful decks. So we're going to try to provide y'all with 5 really, really impactful cards that can help you win more games and also hit your opponent with something that they may not see coming.
These are in no particular order. These are just the top 5 that came to our mind. We're like, huh, these are kind of different. Some of them are a little out there. Some of them are kind of predictable. But all in all, we just think these are really good cards that you should be considering for your side deck. You don't have to play them, but they apply not only to meta decks, but also rogue decks as well. So you might as well just keep these in the back of your mind when you're building your side deck.
And we've also seen a lot of success with them ourselves. So like, there's that too.
Quality tested and mother approved.
The best part about all of these as well is that they're budget. Every single one of these is super affordable.
Wow, basically a budget video. Look at us doing the most for all of you. We'll also be streaming today in the early afternoon. I know it's weird, we don't usually stream during the day, but we have a lot going on today, so we're gonna do a short little midday stream where we're gonna do a really fun mail opening. So hopefully you come check us out. Links will be in the description box down below. I'll see you there. Mwah.
And while you're down there, if you guys are not already a subscriber, feel free to go down and hit that subscribe button, throw this video a like,
and put in the comment section what your spicy side deck choice is this format. Maybe we missed something. Let us know. Tell us. We don't know unless you tell us. We also have an Instagram. It's at CrushCardsYGO. Feel free to come give us a follow if you want to interact with us a little bit more. And then we have a super wholesome Discord community. It's absolutely bopping. I'm in there all the time. And if you want to make new Yu-Gi-Oh friends and catch some duels, that is the place to go. And then last but not least, if you want to further support the channel, we have a Patreon. It's a new month, but you can get on all the side decks, the bloopers, and there's amazing rewards for October. So make sure you check it out. But if not, that's okay. I'm just happy you're here. We're going to talk about the side deck and how you can be better.
All right, so our first choice is actually a little obvious. However, we did want to get the obvious one out of the way, and that one is Cycle Reader. Cycle Reader hits a wide variety of decks across the entire form.
Yes, like Drytron.
It also does hit Eldritch. It also can kind of hit Dragon Link, depending on your matchup. But yes, Drytron is the main deck that Cycle Reader is used against. And the reason it's super good is because anyone who knows the Drytron strategy knows that Droll used to kill the deck, but now you Droll them and they
Droll doesn't matter because they just make Dragoon. And then you have to deal with that.
Yeah,
so,
and you know how they make Dragoon? With 2 monsters. You know what Cycle Reader does? It banishes 2 monsters. So the generic Drytron combo is Alpha Zeta, Alpha Tribute Zeta, get you a Ben 10, and then you go Zeta Tribute Ben 10. And then if they do have no follow-up, you literally just Cycle Reader the Ben 10 and the Zeta. Bam! They have 3 cards left in hand. They have no fairy access. They have no ritual spell access. You force them to have an extender.
And then for all my rogue players out there, I guess this hurts Mech Knights. They're light monsters, right? And like Eldritch, that's a light monster. So I mean, it has its rogue applications, but it's for Drytron.
Yeah,
so,
for Drytron.
You know, shout out Drytron. Moving into number 2, we're gonna step away from the Greek alphabet like Alpha, Delta, and Zeta. We're gonna move into our alphabet, which is the letter C. Friends, we're gonna talk about the C's. Obviously, there's one that's very, very banned, which is Maxi, but we're gonna talk about the brothers of Maxi today, like Contact C and Retaliating C. If you want to know more about why Contact C is so good, we actually did an entire video on it a few months ago and inadvertently caused a bio. Sorry, everybody. But it's still a really good card in the format. It still hurts a lot of decks and it forces people to play generic Link 2s. So let's just briefly discuss why Contact C is actually so good for those of you who don't want to go look at the video, and then discuss Retaliating C as well.
So just a brief description of what Contact C does is when your opponent summons a monster, you can special summon Contact C from your hand to your opponent's side of the field, and then basically if they were to touch their extra deck, they have to use Contact C. So they want a Link, they have to use Contact C. They want a fusion, they have to use Contact C. Xyz, Synchro, any of that, Contact C has to be a part of that summon.
And it's an insect, so I don't know how many y'all are playing insect stuff, but I'm not. I'm playing Pure Zoo. So if you give me a Pure Zoo player a Contact C, I scoop, because I play Xyz, and that's not usable for me.
It's also really good in the Prank Kid matchup because all of the Prank Kid Link monsters require Prank Kids. So if you don't have a kid on your field, or you have a kid and C.
That ain't contact, kid.
Some builds have switched over to playing something like the Thunder Dragon Fusion package with Verte, but we're going to do a video on Friday on how they're not going to be able to do that come October 1st. It's also really good against like one of the most popular decks in the meta right now, which is Tri-Brigade, because if you give them the contact C, once they summon Ferrogy, not only can you block the arrow that Ferrogy has, you can also force them to kind of not be able to get to their Bear Broom, which allows them to not get to Revolt as well.
Yeah, it kind of forces them to go into Appaloosa, doesn't it? It forces them to go into Appaloosa and before they do anything. It's kind of nice. And then there's Retaliating Sea, which is basically like its own kind of built-in macrocosmos. A lot of side deck text for this format, and a lot of people just main decking things that are kind of like macrocosmos. Macrocosmos is obviously limited, so not everyone's playing it, but there are a lot of cards that have come out recently, like Dimension Shifter. There's cards like DD Ground, cards that basically just yeet everything to the banish or tell you can't banish, because both of these mechanics really hurt every deck right now. So Retaliating Sea says whenever a spell card is activated that special summons a monster / monsters, you can special summon this card, and then anything that goes to the graveyard is banished instead, as long as that card is on the field. This card's really good against Print Kids, again, and Drytron, because they both play spell cards that require you to special summon things. So that actually really hurts them a lot, and this also kind of hurts Dragon Link too in its own way.
Yeah, it actually really hurts Dragon Link. I think all of their spell cards special summon monsters.
Quick launch. So moving into number 3, we have a card that is a lot like a certain C card, except that card is actually banned. And that card is actually Shared Ride. I know, right? It's not Maxi, but it's pretty darn close right now.
So like Maxi, Shared Ride actually allows you to draw one card every time your opponent adds a card from their deck to their hand, except by drawing. So when you go first against decks like Drytron or Dragon Link or any other search-heavy deck like, I don't know, Invoked.
Wow, that's my deck.
It helps keep the advantage by drawing cards, and most decks now are just playing a ton of hand traps, so you can have a higher potential of drawing into more hand traps, especially if you've already gone through your combo turn 1, gotten some of the pieces out of your deck. You have a higher percentage of actually getting more interaction due to Shared Ride.
And the beauty of this card is it is a quick play spell, which is really nice. So you can set it, activate on your opponent's turn, and it's really nice in games 2 and 3, obviously being a side card, because you can see your side cards.
Yep. This is really good for like slower decks or even some mid-range decks that need to help keep up that advantage. They need to draw cards. A lot of decks out there, like Drytron specifically, are really, really good at negating every single card. They have 7 negates. You have 6 cards in your hand. That's 1 more negate than cards that you actually have access to. So cards like Shared Ride actually allow you to see more cards and have higher advantage, or at least be able to keep up with some of these faster decks.
Shared Ride also has that intimidation factor that Maxi does, in the sense that your opponent can either go off and do what they're doing and risk you drawing, like, I don't know, 15 cards, or they can kind of tempo themselves and stall their own plays in the event that they don't want you drawing more cards. So either way, it's an advantage for you.
So that leads us to our number 4 slot. This is personally my favorite on the list.
He won't shut up about it.
I've been using this card in a lot of my side decks recently. If you are interested in some of our side deck techs, feel free to check out the Patreon in the description box down below. We do a side deck for every single deck profile that we ever put up.
Wow.
So this card is actually something I've been playing in almost every deck recently, and it is Chaos Hunter. Chaos Hunter says that when your opponent special summons a monster, you discard 1 card and then special summon this card to your side of the field. And then it just has the applied effect where while this card is face up on the field, your opponent cannot banish cards.
Oof.
This is an insane card against Tri-Brigade. It's kind of like a mixture of like Phantasme and Lancio all together.
Yeah.
The best part about this card is that a lot of decks out there are graveyard reliant, so putting a card into your graveyard doesn't actually hurt most decks. For me specifically, I'm playing like Zombies, Drytron, Tri-Brigade, like all of my cards do kind of have some interaction in the graveyard as well. So it's not only like a stunt against your opponent, but it kind of helps you get started going second against your opponent as well. Another thing I really enjoy about this card is that it's a 2500 attack monster.
She's thick as hell.
So this card is actually very powerful against Tri-Brigade specifically, because if they can't banish cards but they are kind of forced to extend, they usually will only be able to make an Appaloosa with 3 negates. Appaloosa with 3 is 24. You know what they can't beat over?
Chaos
Hunter.
And then moving into our final choice for the side deck text. This one might seem like a little bit of an oddball, but we also wanted to cover the range of spells, traps, and monsters. So this is the trap card that we're actually going to talk about that's actually kind of good this format, but really good next format. So you guys got to keep an eye on this one, and that is D-Barrier, or Dimensional Barrier. For those of you who haven't looked at Dimensional Barrier in a while, don't worry, I'm going to read it for you. It says, declare 1 monster card type, Ritual Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Pendulum. For the rest of this turn, neither player can special summon monsters of the declared type. Also negate the effects of all monsters of that type while they are on the field. Wow, that's pretty darn good, Chief. Why? Because guess what? In the upcoming set Burst of Destiny and in the Ring Creators, we will have archetypes that are every single one of those mechanics. That's crazy. Which means that this card yeets those cards.
Yeah,
it's pretty great.
It's so strong. I mean, the Sword Souls is a Synchro archetype. The Exo Sisters is going to be an Xyz archetype. I think personally Drytron is still going to be an insane ritual deck.
And then we've got the Despias, which are getting support, and they're an entirely fusion-based archetype.
Along with the brand new hero support as well.
Woo, we're getting Dragoon 2.0, Phoenix Enforcer.
So many different styles of summoning happening in the next format.
Which means D-Barrier is the best card you could possibly put down against these because it basically tells them they can't play the game.
What I like about D-Barrier right now, though, is it is not only a proactive but also a reactive card. You can use it at the beginning of your turn to try to stop your opponent's entire strategy, or if their strategy is kind of already rolling and you know that you can bait some stuff, this can be like Chainlink 3 to their Fusion, Xyz, Synchro, whatever, to actually negate it as well. So it's a really versatile card.
The beauty of traps. People sleep on them. I don't. Again, this might not seem like the best card right now, but I think this is going to be a sleeper strategy for the next format with all of the crazy amounts of sets we're getting for the end of the year. I think this is going to be a really versatile and helpful card in your side deck. But those are the 5 cards that we think could really see more play or that you should be considering in your side deck. Again, these are not set in stone. We don't know everything. Let us know your spicy text in the comment section down below for sure. But that's about all we got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We just wanted to input our opinions because the format's really established now, and we want to give you guys all the help we can before the ban list comes in October. It's going to be great. Harp to 1, Class to 1. It's going to be fun. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. We love you. You matter. And we will see you guys in the next video and on stream later today. Links in the description box down below. Bye, team!
See y'all!